Hello and welcome back to Jack's Labs. Today we're going to be doing the food chemistry lab, but first let's go over some key terms and vocabulary. Let's start with the Maillard reaction. This reaction is a chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars to give brown food its distinctive flavor. Next, onto emulsifier. This is a substance that stabilizes an emulsion, specifically a food additive used to stabilize processed foods. And finally, the caramelization is when sugars break down with high heat to create rich, nutty flavor, and this must be at 350 degrees or hotter. Now that we've covered some vocabulary, let's get into this week's lab.
First, let's start by going over the materials you'll need. You'll need granulated sugar, brown sugar, unsalted butter, eggs, vanilla extract, all-purpose flour, baking soda, salt, baking powder, semi-sweet chocolate chips, almond extract, a mixing bowl, a utensil to mix with, and a baking sheet. The independent variable of this experiment is the change in butter, and the dependent variable is the taste and texture of the chocolate chip cookie or the sugar cookie. The control is the butter at room temperature, and the constants are that all ingredients and amount of ingredients should be the same, bake temperature and time baked, and then the order in which ingredients are added as well as environment. Let's start with the procedure. First, you're going to gather those proper materials. Next, you're going to bring the eggs and unsalted butter to room temperature. This is important for our experimentation process. Next, preheat the oven to 375 degrees. First, you're going to mix together 3/4 cup of sugar, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, the 1 cup of the unsalted butter, which is 2 sticks of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then 1 egg. And you're going to mix that all together nice and good. You're going to mix in 2 1/4 cup of flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a little at a time. Once you mix all that together, you're going to add in your chocolate chips. Then you're going to take a tablespoon worth of the batter and place it on the baking sheet. This is what we're going to have our cookies be of, and have them spaced 2 inches apart from one another and then bake for 10 to 12 minutes. So that's your first set of cookies. Next, you're going to repeat those same steps, except with butter straight from the refrigerator. And then lastly, repeat those steps with melted butter, and we should get different consistencies when we make the chocolate chip cookies. For our next type of cookie, which are sugar cookies, we're going to gather the materials that we need and preheat the oven to 375 again. First, we're going to mix together all of our dry materials, except for the sugar, by mixing 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 teaspoons of salt. Then we're going to use a separate bowl to mix together the 1 cup of butter and the 1 1/4 cup of sugar, and then add in, once those are mixed together, add in the 1 egg and the 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as the 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. Then once all those 2 bowls are mixed together, we're going to add in the dry ingredients into the bowl that we just mixed, and we're going to add it in slowly mix, and keep repeating that process until all the dry ingredients are all together. Then we're going to do the same thing with these cookies. We're going to add a tablespoon of batter onto the baking sheet, except we're going to want to press it out to 1/4 inch thickness, and that's so it cooks evenly. And you're going to bake it for 10 to 12 minutes. And finally, you're going to repeat those same steps with the sugar cookies, except we're not going to add in the almond extract, and you're going to see some different taste differences there. Once you've done that, you know how to make chocolate chip and sugar cookies. That was it for the lab. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.